Did you know LSU football has not won its season opener since 2019, when they finished the year 15-0 and won the national title? Since then, it has been heartbreaking loss after heartbreaking loss in the first game of the season, putting the team on the back foot, dropping out of the national media coverage, and disappointing fans. So many blown opportunities for a team that should be competing for the college football playoffs and national title year in and year out. Is this the year they finally conquer their demons and win the first game of the season? But before we get into this, if you enjoy college football content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, let me know who you think wins the Heisman Trophy this year in the comment section below. LSU was on top of the world in 2019, led by quarterback Joe Burrow and a generational LSU Tigers team that won the national title. It looked like head coach Ed Orgeron had built a monster and the dynasty was just beginning. But 21 months later, Orgeron would agree with Scott Woodward, athletic director at the time, to step down as head coach after a 3-3 start, an embarrassing 21-point loss to Kentucky. ESPN's Alex Scarborough and Mark Schlabach wrote back in October of 2021, the high-flying offense of quarterback Joe Burrow and coordinator Joe Brady was long gone. A once close-knit locker room had been broken by a head coach who had lost his way, from making bad coordinator hires, fumbling social justice issues, allegedly mishandling legal allegations against his players, and making public outbursts that left administrators questioning whether he was the right man to lead the program. In 2019, Orgeron had gone from a guy who everyone said, "Why the hell is LSU hiring this guy?" to building a generational team, and everyone understood he was the real deal. Gone was the control freak who was once struggled to delegate and the screamer who would often chug cans of energy drinks and work his staff to the bone. That guy, he said, broke people and broke the team. It took getting fired at Ole Miss in 2007 and not getting the job at USC in 2013, but Orgeron had learned the hard way to loosen his grip. He hit gold retaining defensive coordinator Dave Aranda and bringing in New Orleans Saints assistant Joe Brady as passing game coordinator to install the kind of new age up-tempo spread offense Orgeron wanted to have all along. When Brady left to join the Carolina Panthers, Ed decided to bring in a veteran pro-style coordinator in Scott Linehan to replace him. When Aranda left to become Baylor's head coach, Orgeron replaced him with Bo Pelini without actually conducting an interview. The Tigers allowed 492 yards per game, fourth worst in the FBS, and Pelini would be fired after just one season. When Burrow and 13 other players left for the NFL draft, it created a leadership vacuum on the team, which was exacerbated by everything that happened in the chaotic year of 2020. Players like star receiver Jamar Chase opted out, and others transferred. LSU lost the 2020 season opener to Mississippi State, needed back-to-back wins at the end of the season just to finish at 500. Eric Gilbert, a freshman All-American caliber tight end, left the team because of personal issues, along with another talented freshman, quarterback TJ Finley. Orgeron could never stop the bleeding and the issues pushed into 2021. ESPN wrote, that was evident in the Tigers opener at UCLA on September 4th, when Orgeron confronted a heckling Bruins fan while walking into the Rose Bowl. He was caught on camera telling the man, "Bring your ass on in your little sissy blue shirt." While it was just a stupid comment, it was not a great look for LSU, which had just brought in a new president, and it alarmed athletic director Woodward. As the 2021 season went on, Orgeron would lose respect from the team as he became prone to tantrums, throwing chairs and cursing out players according to sources. In the background since the national title, they began to be a part of NCAA investigation after NCAA investigation. When looking for Orgeron's replacement, the name linked to the job would be Lincoln Riley. So much so, LSU reporters would travel to Stillwater for Oklahoma's season finale and asked if he was going to take the Tigers' head coaching job. He vehemently denied it and said he was happy at Oklahoma. A few hours later, he would be named USC's head football coach. The 2021 coaching carousel was a crazy and chaotic one, with jobs like LSU, USC, and now Oklahoma all open. Little did we know it was only going to get crazier. On November 29th, LSU would shock the world when they named Notre Dame head coach Brian Kelly to be their next head coach. Kelly was Notre Dame's winningest head coach, surpassing Knute Rockne, finishing with a 113-40 record when you include the 21 victories from 2012 and 2013 that were vacated by the NCAA. He led the Fighting Irish to the BCS title game in 2012 and the college football playoffs in 2018 and 2020. Kelly would sign a 10-year, $95 million contract, bringing on high expectations. At LSU, he was expected to win a national title, something he would fall short of doing at Notre Dame multiple times. He would speak on the move saying, "I could not be more excited to join a program with the commitment to excellence rich tradition, and unrivaled pride and passion of LSU football. I am fully committed to recruiting, developing, and graduating elite student athletes, winning championships, and working together with our administration to make Louisiana proud. Our potential is unlimited, and I cannot wait to call Baton Rouge home. While Scott Woodward would say, Brian Kelly is the epitome of a winner. He has built and sustained success at every program he's led. From multiple undefeated regular seasons and National Coach of the Year honors to national titles and college football playoff berths. His credentials and consistency speak for themselves. Most importantly, Coach Kelly's players and program exemplify excellence in all aspects of student-athlete experience, in competition, in the classroom, and throughout the community. He shares our values and vision for elevating our university and our state. We're thrilled to welcome him and his family to Baton Rouge. We're excited to work with him as we add to the championship legacy of LSU football. According to ESPN's Chris Lowe, Kelly was on the road recruiting for Notre Dame when the news broke. He sent a group text to Notre Dame players late Monday night informing them he would be leaving and apologized that they found out through social media or news reports. He became the first head coach to choose to leave Notre Dame for another job. He had a 263-96-2 record overall at the time, winning 2 Division II national titles at Grand Valley State and going 34-6 in bowl games at Cincinnati and Notre Dame. Things would get off to a cringy start when a video was released of Kelly dancing with a recruit. The Tigers would rebuild their broken culture and win the SEC West Division, led by quarterback Jaden Daniels, but lost to Georgia 50-30 in the SEC Championship game, but won the Citrus Bowl to finish the year 10-4. They would go 10-3 in 2023, as Daniels would go on to win the Heisman Trophy, but they would finish tied for second in the SEC West and beat Wisconsin in the Relic West Bowl. Last year, they finished 9-4, beating Baylor in the Texas Bowl. They would always come up short of making it to the college football playoffs. Led by Kelly, LSU is 29-11 and will look to make a push to make it back to the playoffs with a loaded roster this season. LSU brings back quarterback Garrett Nussmeier, the son of Saints offense coordinator Doug Nussmeier, who comes in with the second best odds to win the Heisman Trophy at the time of recording, behind Texas's Arch Manning and ahead of Clemson's Cade Klubnik. Last year, Nussmeier threw for 4,052 yards, 29 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions, and some wondered whether he might jump to the NFL. Instead, he decided to return to LSU, feeling he had unfinished business, and Kelly spoke on his starting quarterback saying, Garrett is at LSU because he loves LSU, and he wants to lead our football team to a championship. And if the Heisman falls with that, I think he's good with that. However, all our conversations with him are not about individual goals. They're about how to lead the football team to a championship. And all we've seen from him is leadership. His selflessness is going to be the differentiator from last year to this year, as well as the experience he had playing against a really good SEC teams. Nussmeier is focused on reducing his interceptions this season and also became more mobile, telling Jeff Palermo from WWL Radio Sports, really bought into changing my body makeup and being able to be more durable, to be able to run, to be able to make plays with my feet as well. I think there were times last year where I may have made a mistake that if I would have put my head down and gotten back to the line of scrimmage or went for 3 yards and slid, it would have been a different outcome. Along with Nussmeier, the Tigers returned Caden Durham at running back and Aaron Anderson at wide receiver, as well as DJ Chester at center. On defense, they returned Whit Weeks at linebacker, Ashton Stamps at cornerback, and Jardin Gilbert at safety. LSU was also very strategic in the transfer portal this season, bringing in 17 players and quietly finishing as the number 1 class with a 79.52 points, ahead of Texas Tech, which finished with 78.27 points. The Tigers did it strategically, with Kelly pointing specifically to offensive lineman Josh Thompson via Northwestern to play right tackle or right guard, and Baron Brown, Kentucky's second leading receiver last year, to complement the receiver unit. Kelly spoke on the roster saying, "It's the deepest roster we have because it incorporates some of the young guys that we took some lumps with along the way. So it's a nice balance of veteran players, young guys that have grown in the program, and some transfers that have played a lot of football." While the media focuses on the LSU offense, the unit that will decide how good this team is this year will be most likely their defense. There was only incremental progress last year under defense coordinator Blake Baker, going from the second worst in scoring defense in the SEC in 2023 to the third worst last year. The hope is for more progress in Baker's second year, with some help from the portal and some from experience and a big boost from a key player position change. They moved former 5-star recruit Harold Perkins to the star position and will hope he could return to being a superstar again after tearing his ACL last year. Weeks spoke on the move saying, "I think that's the best position that you can put Harold Perkins in, because at that position you could be a freak of nature athlete. LSU has a tough schedule this season as they open it up taking on Clemson on the road or hosting Louisiana Tech, Florida, and Southeastern Louisiana. They travel to Ole Miss before returning home to take on South Carolina. Then comes Vanderbilt on the road, followed by Texas A&M before traveling to Bryant-Denny Stadium to take on Alabama. They then host Arkansas and Western Kentucky before closing out the season in Norman, taking on Oklahoma. They enter the season with an over-under win total of 8.5 according to MGM, DraftKings, and Bally Sports. Phil Steele projects LSU to finish tied for 4th in the SEC along with Oklahoma and Texas A&M, while being behind Georgia, Texas, and Alabama. Steele writes they have the explosive offense and improved defense and are a legit national title contender, but do play both Alabama and Oklahoma on the road. He named Nussmeier, Anderson, Weeks, and kicker Baron Brown as preseason first-team All-SEC picks, while Perkins is preseason second-team All-SEC. But they will need to overcome some demons first. Heading into Week 1 of the 2025 season, there is a lot of pressure on Brian Kelly and the LSU Tigers. Since LSU won the national title in 2019 under head coach Ed Orgeron, they have not won their season opener. In 2020, they lost to Mississippi State 44-34, and in 2021, they lost to UCLA 38-27 on the road. In Brian Kelly's first game as head coach, LSU would fall to Florida State in New Orleans when they seemed to tie the score as time expired but missed the extra point, losing 24-23. They followed that up with a 45-24 loss to Florida State in Orlando in 2023, and last year lost to USC in Las Vegas 27-20 as the Trojans scored the winning touchdown with 8 seconds left. While Kelly was only the head coach for 3 of these games, he has taken the brunt of the blame for what has happened. Following the loss to USC, he said, "Look, I've been doing this for 3 decades, right? And I need to look at it critically, what we are doing relative to our preseason preparation for our first game." Like I mentioned earlier, with the investment in recruiting grounds surrounding LSU, the expectations are for the Tigers to compete for national titles, not just for bowl eligibility. In its 3 seasons, LSU has gone 10-4, 10-3, and 9-4, which is fantastic at most schools, but LSU and their fan base expect to be competing for the college football playoffs. By losing the first game of the season every year, you start off on the wrong foot and need to be nearly perfect the rest of the season, which is not an easy task when you play in the SEC. Had LSU not lost to USC in Week 1, who finished the season 7-6, there's a chance the Tigers would be in the conversation when it comes to the college football playoffs. Instead, a 3-game losing streak to end October and the start of November, with double-digit point losses to Texas A&M, Alabama, and Florida would all but seal their season. Hey, maybe they figure a way to win one of those 3 games so they don't lose the season opener because there's more to fight for them. Instead of playing in the college football playoffs, though, they were instead playing in the Kinder's Texas Bowl against Baylor. They put the team in an immediate hole, deflate the fan base, and push the team off the national radar. They are looking to change that this year when they take on Clemson. Kelly explained at SEC Media Days, "We made it a specific goal. I think it was important to have a tangible, specific goal for us to start the season. I think it's important for our kids that they want that. They can taste it. I use the analogy that, when I work out, I like to have a clock in front of me, so I know what the time is and when it's time to finish or to finish strong. And that's what this is. This is a clock in front of them saying, this is where we start this." Brian Kelly and LSU will hope they will be competing for the national title this season, or some tough questions will start being asked. It's already a tough look when his former team played in the national title last year, when he left because he felt he couldn't make Notre Dame a premier team anymore with the academic standards. Can LSU finally win their home opener, and will they make it to the college football playoffs this year? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.